When I wrote the Chimp Paradox, I wanted to help people to understand what I was trying to teach and help them to gain skills in. The problem I had is that because everybody's unique, I didn't really want to write the book because it becomes a recipe book and that would fail. So when I did write it, I tried to say to people, read carefully and things that resonate with you, pick them up and run with them. Or even if they spark ideas off, then work on those ideas. So the book was written as a sort of manual guideline to say to people, here is a model. It's a model I've used with people and it's been very effective. Try it and see. If it's not for you, fair enough. But if it is, really try and work on it. So the book itself is based in three sections. The first section tries to explain about your inner mind and say that there are three systems operating together and they're interacting with each other. And we're going to look at how they interact, how you can recognize that, how you can then use your mind to advantage by managing the chimp in the brain, by running the computer, tidying it up and keep it maintained in a good place. And that's what the first section of the book is about. It's about the mind itself, how you can recognize the three systems within it, human, chimp and computer, and then start understanding the rules of what happens there so that you can work within the rules to get the best out of yourself and run the mind that you want to. And as the book goes through in the first section, it's looking realistically at four big areas. One of the areas is you yourself, having a relationship with yourself that's really good and gets the best out of you. The second section looks at other people and it's saying, how do you get the best out of others and how do you understand them so that you can see things from their point of view and also have better working relationships. The third area of the book looks at the communication between you and other people, and that is so critical to all of us, and it looks at whether the human's communicating or the chimp is communicating, and sometimes the computer is communicating, and whether you can actually affect those in a way that gets a better effective communication. The fourth area is looking at the environment that we live in. This is both personal environments and professional. If you're in the right environment, it's much more likely that our chimps will be quiet because they're happy and secure and content. If we're in the wrong environment, then the chimp or even human may start to create. And then we've got to deal with stress, anxiety and problems. So it's quite crucial to get the right environment. After that, the next part of the book is looking at your health and well-being, because again, this physical machine that we're living in needs looking after, and sometimes our chimps don't look after them. Our humans ought to look after them, but probably we don't. So we do look at that in the way that these two different systems are working with health, and also the computer, the third system, and what it's doing. The latter part of the book then addresses two specific areas. One of them is success, however you define that, and this is all about looking and saying, am I getting the best out of myself? Do I measure what is successful and get better quality of life? So this can be a professional success or a personal success, but it's quite clear that if we look at what success means, our humans and our chimps have very different ideas on this. It's rare they both agree. They might do. The last chapter of the book, probably the most crucial. Most people say that life is about being happy, it's about enjoying ourselves, and that actually is something you have to work on sometimes. It's a quality. We can't always be happy, but we can do a lot of things to improve the probability of it happening. But again, I'm applying the first four chapters into these latter chapters because success and happiness are all about quality of life. So the latter part of the book is explaining how to apply what you've now learnt into these areas. Having followed the book, if you've covered all 7 areas, which is why I called them planets to try and make them distinct, though I agree there's a lot of analogies here. If you buy into this, then you can start to see hopefully what I'm doing. What I'd like to do now is to, along with my team, explain the chapters of the book, key points and little messages in each. So almost a synopsis of where you might be able to work with the model.